104.5 The Team, your home for New York Yankees baseball. We are joined by one of my favorite guests, Jim Leyritz, on the phone. Jim, why in the world are our Yankees in last place?
Well, unfortunately, first of all, hello.
I'm sorry.
Good to be on board.
Hey, Jim.
Talking again. But yeah, I mean, last year, going into the spring training this year, we felt like, okay, they got some young players that they're going to bring up. Some young, they're going to start infusing these kids like they did in the early 90s, and hopefully start right around 93, 94 to start competing. Unfortunately, Greg Bird gets hurt spring training. They're not giving Judge a chance because they're stuck in a couple contracts that they can't get out of. So I still think we're kind of in that 91, 92 era that we have some young kids down there on the farm ready to go, but we just don't have the ability to plop them in there yet because of either injury or because we have some big contracts that we're still under. So I'm hoping that, coming out of spring training, things look pretty promising, but the reality of it is the offense is looking pretty bleak. The pitching, that's always been the question. I think, but I will say this: it could all change once Chapman comes back off suspension, because now you shorten the game to a 5 or 6 inning game every night with the Yankees, and that could help, and they could squeak out 2 or 3 runs to be able to win a game.
Jim, when you hear Joe Girardi basically, make it sound like, hey, sooner or later the hits are going to come in, is that a very simplistic way to just use baseball knowledge, or is that as nauseating to you as it is to me when I hear a guy make it sound like it's luck, not skill?
Well, you know what? As much as we want to question Girardi and things like that, every year, we always count them out, and they seem to make the playoffs. They seem to at least get there. And again, with what he's working with, being handcuffed a little bit by being able to make some roster moves and roster changes, I think he's done a pretty good job. I mean, it's you don't want to hear the same old adage, that they'll wake up sooner or later. But it really is true to a point that baseball's a marathon, not a sprint, and he knows that clubhouse better than any of us could ever imagine, and what these guys are capable of. And last year, I think they surprised a lot of people. A-Rod, was not very welcomed in the beginning, but got, after a while got going. CC Sabathia, that's a big one out there. I don't think Girardi's totally off base by saying, hey, listen, we're going to wake up sooner or later. At the same time, you got to go, okay, how many more times can they pull this off and not bring these young kids that they have down there up and give them an opportunity? And I don't think it's too long that we don't see some of these changes start to happen if they don't get better. And like you said, if they don't wake these bats up, wake this offense up and get going, they're going to have to make some moves.
Hey, Jim, it's Wolf. Who so far has been the biggest disappointment, do you think, in the Yankee lineup?
Well, we keep waiting for Headley. We gave him that big contract. We gave him a little pass last year because the adjustments and all the things and the start that he's gotten off to this year, it doesn't look promising. And to me, I think that's the biggest one that, you got a third baseman who's supposed to be a power guy, an RBI guy, and puts a big, big hole in that lineup, and he's not performing. And right now, that's not happening. I have to say that he's probably right now the number one guy that they thought could really turn this around this year that hasn't done it yet.
Jim Leyritz joins us right here on 104.5 The Team, your home for New York Yankees baseball. Jim, is this a situation where they almost look kind of robotic at this point? Like when Ellsbury stole home, you saw passion and they win a game or two. Is this a situation where they need a little bit more locker room fun?
Well, maybe that's why they signed Nick Swisher.
He's Swishalicious. He is.
Well, and I'm telling you right now, I love Swish. Swish is one of my favorites. And he is a guy that you could bring into that locker room that could lighten things up, get guys going, and just really make it a fun time to come to the park every day, which right now, like you said, doesn't seem like that's what's happening. And maybe that's what, the idea behind Cashman was saying, okay, if Swish can give me something, he's going to be a benefit to the clubhouse as well as maybe once in a while getting out there, getting a hit that counts.
Jim, we ask everybody this too. It's especially concerning what you just were talking about with sort of practical, with having fun. We want to ask about practical jokes or funniest thing that ever happened during a game to you,
Unfortunately, I have to admit that I was usually the one doing it.
Oh, tell us about one.
Yeah, I was the guy that would crawl under the bench and put the hot foot on the guy. I was the one that in Milwaukee slid down Bernie Brewer's slide during the middle of the game. There were some things like that we did. Practical joke, I still think the best one I've ever seen. I wasn't a part of it, but it's the best one I've ever seen. Was Joe Carter taking Derek Bell's truck, brand new SUV that he had just gotten, was bragging to everybody about, and he got together with the Toronto front office, and they made it a giveaway on the field to a fan. And you should have seen Derek Bell's face when that car pulled out, and he realized that was his car that they had just given away to a fan. It was one of the best practical jokes I've ever seen.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So they just went and bought him another truck? Is that?
No. It was even set up with the fans. They had another car to give the fan, but they were just going to do it using Derek Bell's truck. This is a practical joke.
That is awesome.
Again, it was genius. It was genius.
Did he completely flip out?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he really didn't know what to do. They kept panning to him because, again, the whole team, the whole front office, everybody, even the people that were getting the car were all in on it. And the people that were getting the car, again, you have to see it. They have it on tape, and one of the funniest moments in baseball thing. It is one of the best practical jokes I've ever seen.
Oh, great. I'll have to watch that.
Yankee great Jim Leyritz joining us right now. Okay, so tonight is the Red Sox Yankees, and I feel like we ask you this question every year. What is this rivalry? Is it anything still? Does it matter when you watch it? Do you still feel the little turn in your stomach when you see the Red Sox out there?
Well, for me, I think the biggest thing is, it seems to be reversing every year. The Yankees are in first or second place. Red Sox are in last. This year, it's flip-flopping again. I think that is actually helping the rivalry because not only does it fire the fans up, because last year, every chance a Yankee fan had to stick it to a Boston fan, they did. And this year, you're going to see it until the Yankees get out of the cellar, that every Boston fan is going to stick it to the Yankees. So, yes, I think it has helped the rivalry. It has helped a little bit more bitterness between the two teams because it's been such a flip-flop. I'm hoping that by mid-season that these guys are 1-2, between them and Toronto, it's 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, that'd be the
Can't
best.
count Baltimore out because Baltimore's got to a good start.
Yeah.
But I think this division is going to be one of the best because even though, like I said, even though the Yankees got off to kind of a start, they're not that far out of first place. So the division is still wide open. And I think, again, getting Chapman back here in a couple weeks, I think that could be a whole different. And I'm hoping the Yankees aren't just sitting around waiting for that. At the same time, maybe that's kind of what they're waiting on.
Jim Leyritz joining us right now on 104.5 The Team. Now, Jim, you are always into charitable functions, events. Usually they involve swinging golf clubs, but what are you up to right now, Jim?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm still part of the Greatest Save, which is Raleigh Fingers and my charity. We have a huge outing coming up in New York on May 16th at Bethpage, to where we're going to be raising money to put into the high schools all around New York to shout out child predators and keep these kids from being isolated for abductions and trafficking. And that's my biggest one. And then, of course, I work for another company called pinktide.org out of Long Island. And what they do is they raise money for charities and foundations in the Long Island and New York area for foundations that need help, that don't have the financial aid that some of these other foundations have. We give them a helping hand to be able to change lives for other kids, whether it be foster parents, foster kids, people with cancer, whatever there's a need or foundation that needs help, pinktide.org is willing to come by and help them and help out the Long Island and New York area. So,
Jim,
those are my two big ones right now.
If you ever have a charity or organization up in our area that needs help, please call on us to help you get that done.
Yes, I will. As a matter of fact, now that we are working with Major League Baseball in all 30 cities with the Greatest Save program with the high schools, I might be calling on you because we would need the high schools in that area to participate in our program. They don't have to do anything except say they want this program or this project in their school, and it starts awareness for these kids. Like I said, whether it's cyberbullying, whether it's date rape, whether it's any safety issues that these kids are going through in high school that they don't have a voice, this program gives them that voice and able to help them. So I will be calling on you probably in the next few months once we get this program up and running with all 30 Major League teams.
Anytime, Jim.
Jim, anything we can do, as always, thanks for your time. We love you, man. Jim Leyritz, Yankee great, making some time on 104.5 The Team.
All right, guys. Great talking to you.